Joining us tonight, former federal prosecutor and author Sidney Powell. Sidney, good to have you with us. Catherine Herridge reporting an interesting element from Senator Cornyn today, and raising the possibility that this was all a Russian disinformation campaign. The phony dossier paid for, as we know, by the Hillary Clinton campaign, the Democratic National Committee. If that were the case, and we have been witnessing the special counsel come up with absolutely no evidence of any impropriety on the part of the Trump campaign and collusion or cooperation or conspiracy with the Russians, that means that the collusion was between the Democratic Party, the Hillary Clinton campaign, and the Russians to sow discord in this country over a period of almost 2 years, does it not?
Oh, yes, but I think Senator Cornyn's theory lets the Democrats and Hillary Clinton off way too light, as well as the Obama administration, because I think the Attorney General is going to find that the spying on the Trump campaign went back as early as 2015, before the campaign even started good. And all of that information is going to come out with the reports on the FISA abuses and the unredaction of Rosemary Collier's decision by the FISA court that identifies the private contractors to whom Comey gave illegal access to the entire NSA database. In
terms of the hearing today, William Barr making it very clear, the Attorney General making it clear to even the radical Dems on the Judiciary Committee in the Senate, that the 19 pages that Mueller was questioning and wanting released were, in point of fact, and to the credit of Senator Ted Cruz, who made the point absolutely indelibly, those 19 pages were contained in the 448 pages of the overall report, which were out within a few weeks.
Oh,
I mean, it's insane what the Dems were doing.
It was absolutely insane, incredibly rude, and completely baseless, Lou. This administration has been so transparent throughout this process to waive attorney-client privilege, to waive executive privilege. The only reason we know of all these conversations is because the president waived all the privileges so that no one should be able to claim obstruction of justice in any way, shape, or form, and then encouraged the attorney general to be as transparent as possible in disclosing absolutely all that he could possibly disclose. None of it had to be disclosed to the public other than the conclusions.
But he did. But he did. And that is the point here, that there are the radical Dems on that committee were insulting, slandering, as the chairman Lindsey Graham said, this great public servant, the Attorney General of the United States, and they did so for pure partisan political purposes, some of them even 2020 hopefuls. There shouldn't be much hope on their part, but nonetheless hopefuls. It was a display of ignorance, shameful. They're a disgrace to the country.
It was absolutely hideous, and Attorney General Barr handled it all with the utmost professionalism and brilliance. He made them all look like the idiots they are.
Did I miss something? Did he look at notes? Because I have to tell you, I didn't see the man pick up a note. He was speaking from his memory and his command of the material. And I'm watching the radical Dems with their little, whatever they thought they were doing. I mean, they had notes. They had everything but, wires into their crania from their staff to get out a question. It was quite something.
Yes, they were reading from their speeches, and he was talking facts and law from the Mueller report and his own command of the legal issues and the law.
And let's go to Barr, if we could. Listen to the Attorney General on the issue of the FISA warrants and the likelihood of further investigation.
Well, one of the things I want to look there are people, many people seem to assume that the only intelligence collection that occurred was a single confidential informant and a FISA warrant. I'd like to find out whether that is in fact true. It strikes me as a fairly anemic effort if that was the counterintelligence effort designed to stop the threat as it's being represented.
Your thoughts?
Well, we know from Comey's admissions that they opened files on 4 Americans early on with absolutely no basis. And then we also know from Peter Strzok's text messages that they had Oconus lures, they call them. So there were more than one overseas efforts to spy on the Trump campaign.
Efforts to entrap and then spy, yes.
Exactly, yes. Downer, Misfood, and Halper all had to be in that category.
Yep.
So I think they're going to find a lot more.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think it's still laughable the number of organizations, news organizations, and others who were warned away from Stephen Halpern because he was a valued asset and they didn't want it disclosed. Nonetheless, his role has been disclosed. And his name is out there and has been for 2 years. It's where we're going with this is well, it's fun to contemplate because it's going to lead back certainly to all who were orchestrating the intelligence community, the FBI, and the Justice Department from the Obama administration at the very outset. Sidney
yes.
Powell, you get the last word, and we're out of time.
The FBI was paying hundreds of thousands of dollars through the Department of Defense to Stephen Halper to try to set up General Flynn and other people.
Thank you very much, Sidney Powell. Appreciate it.
Thank you.